Okay, let's dive on into Arlo's training so we can stay nice and consistent when we get home. When we get home and we give Arlo a command and he decides to follow through and listen to this command, we're going to either pet, praise, or reward him. This is going to let him know he's doing a great job and doing exactly what it is we're asking him to do. This is also going to help build a nice, strong reward history. A reward history is a positive association with an action. The more positive Arlo sees an action as, the more often he's going to just give us these behaviors. Now, if he decides to not listen, we then are going to follow through using the training equipment. Dogs learn in photos, so we only have about 1.3 seconds to either praise and reward him or to follow through, again, using the training equipment. So let's go over the training equipment. First, you have his remote control collar. You have his remote collar. So as you can see, not only does the collar have a red circle, but so does the remote. This is going to be the key to turn the collar on. You're going to touch the red circle on the remote to the collar. A green light is then going to flash on to let you know it's on, and it will flash periodically to let you know that the collar is still on. To turn it off, same thing. Red circle on the remote to the red circle on the collar, and a red light is then going to flash to let you know that it is off. How do we turn on the remote? It's going to be this large black button in the back. We're going to press and hold that until the screen turns on. Once that screen's on, your remote is on. To turn it off, same exact thing, large black button in the back, press and hold until that screen turns off. Once the screen's off, your remote is going to be off. And then we have the prong collar. So with the prong collar, we are going to be using a lead. This lead is going to attach to the spinning D-ring. The prong collar is also not to be big enough to slip on and off of Arlo's head. We do need to take the links apart. So to do this, we're going to hold one link and let it kind of just drop at about a 90-degree angle. We're going to grasp the link on the side, and then we are going to grasp the link up top. We're going to slide that top link down the prongs. This is about technique, not strength. Okay, and so now we have it off. We put it around his neck. To put it back on, to reattach it, we need to squeeze these prongs together and put them through those little holes. Again, technique, not strength. So that is his training equipment. So let's go over his commands. First, we have heel. Heel means to walk politely next to us on the left-hand side on a nice loose leash. When he's doing this, we are going to tell him how good of a job he's doing. We're going to go ahead and praise him and reward him. Yes, Arlo, good heel. Give him some treats. This is, again, going to help us give a positive reward history to him healing. Now, let's say Arlo decides he's going to pull ahead of us a little bit. How are we going to follow through with the training equipment? So, first we have our prong with the lead on it. We're healing, he's doing great, he gets a little distracted, decides to walk a bit faster than us, and we don't want that. We're going to mark that behavior with a no. Then we're going to do a quick pop and release of the lead to follow through, and then we're going to remind him what it is that he is supposed to be doing, which is going to be heal. So, we're healing, he's doing great, goes ahead a little bit, no, pop and release, heal. How are we going to follow through with the remote? He's going to be wearing this. We're going to focus on that black S button, okay? So we're healing, he pulls ahead, we're going to mark it, no, button, heal. Okay, so again, mark his behavior in which we're not liking with the verbal word, no. Follow through with the remote by hitting that black S button and then remind him to heal. So walking, he's healing great, pulls ahead, no, button, heal. Okay, so let's go over his commands. First, there's going to be heal, which I just talked about a little bit. He's to be in a heal about 85 to 90% of our walking time. The other 10 to 15%, he will be in a free. Free is going to be the release command. It means that he's no longer in a command. He's got the freedom to sniff, to go potty, and to explore. And while he is in that on our walks, we are going to be going at his pace. That way there is still no pulling. This is to be done about 10 to 15% of your walk time. That way we can have nice, structured, consistent walks. Next is going to be sit. Sit was demonstrated with our door manner video. We walk him up to the door, put him in a sit. We go ahead and tell him he's doing great, give him a reward. We open the door, we remind him to sit, because sit does have an implied stay. It is just a short duration stay, but it is still an implied stay. He needs to stay in that sit. Once we are ready for him to go through that door with us, we tell him free, so he knows he can get out of that command. We walk through, we tell him heel. That way he knows, oh, I need to stay right next to you nicely on that left-hand side with a nice loose leash, and then we continue for our walks. We tell him a good job, we give him treats, we give him praise. His next command is going to be down. Down was demonstrated with down in the lobby. So down is a longer duration stay. We have these implied stays because we are not wanting to have to make him remember another word. We, again, want it implied. When we tell him down or we tell him sit, we want him to stay in that sit. We want him to stay in that down. So you put him in a down. He's doing a wonderful job. We're going to reward him again for his good behavior, tell him he's doing a great job. But now when we give him those treats, we are going to want to give him those treats on the ground. We want to put those treats right in between his paws because dogs follow their nose. So if you go to hand it to him and he has to lift his head up, he is going to lift up onto those front legs and he's going to go from a down into a sit, and we are not wanting that. So when we're following through, if he decides to sit up, what we're going to do with the prong is we're going to make sure that we are doing the pop and release in a downward motion. Now, if you do it in an upward motion, it's going to, again, make him want to sit. Then we have place. Place is absolutely wonderful for when you need him to be calm or for when people are coming over. Place, again, is a barrier stay. It is a stay. All 4 feet need to be on that place bed at all times, and there's no vocalization. There's no whining and there is no barking. He's not to chew on his lead and he's not to chew on the bed. Now, that is not me saying that he cannot have treats or toys on that bed. Those are completely fine. He just can't be destructive in the terms of chewing on that lead or chewing on that bed. When he's doing a good job and we want to praise or reward him, we are going to put those treats onto his bed because then he's going to think that the bed is what's rewarding him. The bed is what's giving him those treats. It's going to give a positive reward history with that bed, with that place state, or with that place command. Then we have come when called. So when working on come when called, I recommend having him on a nice long lead, about 30 to 50 feet for safety precautions. That way, if he decides to sprint off in a direction, you can still have the ability to reel him in and to keep him nice and safe. When we go to call him, he's going to be in a free, He's going to be in a free, so he has the ability to sniff and to explore and go potty. Once he's distracted a little bit, we're going to call him in a nice, loud, firm tone. Once he starts coming to us, we are going to instantly start backing up to invite him into our space, make ourselves a little bit more exciting, and we're going to praise. Yes, Arlo, good boy. He's going to run at us. Once he comes to us, have him go into a sit and give him treats, give him rewards, because we want to be the most exciting and awesome thing that is out there. We want him to want to be with us more than anything else that he finds outside. Now, if he decides that he's not going to listen when you tell him to come, you can go ahead and use that black S button, no, black S button, come, or you can reel him in using that 50-foot lead. Now, if you have to follow through with either reeling him in or using that black S button, you still are going to want to praise and reward him when he gets to you, because the follow through happened out there. It did not happen with us. We want the absolute strongest reward history when it comes to come when called, because we want him to come to us every single time he is called. And then the next command is going to be leave it. Leave it just means to ignore what is on the floor. Don't pick it up, don't mess with it. So I recommend using dog safe food, drop that on the floor. If he goes and leaves it alone, when you tell him leave it, we're going to give him a reward and we're going to praise him. Good job, Arlo, good boy. And then pick up what it is that is on the floor. So don't forget to stay consistent and have a lot of fun. Now we're going to go ahead and see Arlo's commands.
Good boy. Good job. Heel.
Sit. Yes, good boy. Good job. Breathe. Good boy. Good. Breathe. Arlo, come. Good boy. Yes. Good job. Sit. Yes. Breathe. Good boy. Hi. Good boy. Breathe. Arlo, come. Good boy. Sit. Yes. Good job. Good boy. Breathe. Yep. Yep. Good job. Sit. 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 Breathe. Feel. Good boy. Good. Feel. Sit. Yes, good boy. Down. Yes. Good down. Good down. 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 Good down. Good down. Good boy. Good down. Down. Free. Heel. Good boy. Good job. Good heel. Let's go ahead and go over Arlo's remote collar. So there's going to be a small red circle on the side of the remote and a small red circle on the actual collar. To turn the collar on, we're going to touch those together. A green light is going to turn on and it's going to flash periodically to remind you that the collar's on. To turn it off, you're going to touch those together and it's going to flash red to let you know that the collar is off. To turn on the remote, there's a large black button on the back. We're going to press and hold that until the screen turns on. To turn it off, same exact thing, large black button on the back, press and hold until the screen turns off. So when using this remote collar to follow through with Arlo, we're going to focus heavily on the big black S button. That is going to be our follow through button. It is at a level 25. This level has been working here at the facility. Now it may be too high or it may be too low once you get home. How are you going to know if it's too high or too low? If it is too high, Arlo is going to be flinching, and that means we need to adjust the level down by 5. If it is too low, we are going to be relying on that button quite often, and we are going to increase the level by 5. How do we increase the level? It's going to be with this knob right here. As you can see, the level's not changing when I turn it, and this is because the knob is in fact locked. The level is locked in. That solid 1D means that it's locked. Okay, so we're going to press and hold the knob down until that 1D is flashing. Once that 1D is flashing, we can go ahead and adjust the level. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to the level 25 Arlo is at. To lock that level in, we're going to again press and hold until that 1D is solid, and that level is going to be locked in. Again, that is for the large black S button for follow throughs. There's this large black T button on the side, and that is just for vibrate. At a further date down the road, you could possibly use this as a warning for Arlo, but right now we here at the facility have been focusing heavily on this black S button. There's also this large red S button. Now that is the emergency boost button, okay? We have never ever had to use that here, but it is a good safety net to have. It is good to have for emergencies. What it's going to do is it's going to double the level in which Arlo is getting his follow through at. So the level 25 works if Arlo's excitement is from here down. If his excitement is up here, such as him chasing a rabbit across the street, we're going to need to meet his excitement level, and level 25 only sits to here, okay? It only hits from here down. So we're going to then use the emergency button because it is an emergency. It could be dangerous for him to run across that road. We're going to use that button because it is going to meet his excitement level, okay? That's the only time we're going to use that red S button is for emergencies. Again, we have never had to use it here at the facility. There are some buttons on the back. The big black L button in which we use to press and hold to turn on and off the remote. It also is for a light, okay? There's a nice little light built in on the remote. If you tap it once, you're going to get a strobing light. If you tap it twice, that light is going to stay on. If you tap it 3 times, it's going to turn that light off, which is really handy when it comes to nighttime with Arlo. There's also going to be this MC button on the side. What that does is it changes the buttons from momentary to constant. We are no longer needing to mess with that button. We use it at the beginning for training purposes at a very, very low level to help us build a positive reward history with the remote collar. What we did is we would let him feel the very, very low stimulation, and we would reward him with treats so that he would associate good things with the remote collar. Let's go ahead and go over what's in the box. What comes with your remote collar. So there's going to be different size little prong stimulators. These can be switched out with a tool that also comes with Arlo's remote collar, and this is going to be used when Arlo gets bigger, if his hair gets too long for these, because we want these connectors to make contact with the skin. Now this is going to be put on kind of like a watch. You want it to sit in place, you don't want it to spin around, you want it to sit in one spot. There's also going to be a lanyard. This lanyard hooks onto the remote. That way we are not putting the remote into our pockets, because if you put it into the pocket, there's a possibility that you will follow through at an unnecessary time, or you could possibly accidentally unlock his level and increase or decrease the level. There's also going to be this 2-bay charger. That way you can charge your remote and your collar at the same time. I do not recommend leaving the collar or the remote charging completely overnight. It only takes a few hours for them to charge, and if you leave it on the charger overnight, you run the risk of possibly wearing down that battery. Now, your remote and your collar are both waterproof, which is awesome, but that does mean that these little flaps that go over your charging area need to be pushed down nice and firmly to make sure that no moisture, no moisture and no debris get in there. That way you stay having the ability to charge both your remote and your collar. The battery should last about 48 hours as long as you are turning them both off at night. Arlo only needs to wear this collar for 12 to 14 hours a day, so you can put it on first thing in the morning, take it off first thing, or take it off last thing at night when you're going to go to bed. Sorry about that. It also comes with the original collar. We did switch it out for one with a bungee, so it's got a little bit more give. It also is a bit quicker to take on and put off of him because this one goes on kind of like a belt, so you're constantly having to find the same circle to insert the buckle into. Whereas this one's got, like I stated, that really nice little bungee and a nice quick little clasp for it. Underneath the tray is going to be your instruction manual, just in case you forget how to adjust the level and you're needing to, or you are just wanting to update yourself on the uses for the other buttons. You do have this instruction manual. Again, it is underneath the tray. The great thing about this brand of remote collar is it also has a nice 2-year warranty, so if by chance something was to happen, you can contact the company on the side and let them know what's going on, and they should be able to help you replace it within the first 2 years. So remember, have fun and stay consistent.